Chelsea versus Arsenal, EFL Cup semi-final, first leg, match reflection through the kind of lens. So reflecting on our starting lineup, I was happy with the starting lineup. I felt we went with a strong starting lineup. MLS out, Ben White in, Timber in at left back, solid. And then, the only player that usually starts is Raya, but he was out because Kepa is our cup competition goalkeeper. So when I saw both lineups, I thought, strong team. Although I predicted 2-2 in my match preview in the prediction section, I did feel we could go there and win this game. So reflecting on the first half. So first half, I did say, I alluded to it in my match preview in the tactical analysis part, that I did feel set pieces would play a massive part in this game. Okay. And it proved to be the case. Declan Rice whipped in an in-swinger and White headed it in to the back of the net to give us the 1-0 lead. So I felt, other than that, first half was more of a controlled first half. I thought 1-0 at half time was a true reflection of that game, that first half. So half-time thoughts, I was just thinking, you know what? We need another goal. We'll need another goal in this tie, to just give us a bit of breathing space, okay? So, I just thought, we've got to go out second half, try and get that second goal rather than just sitting back, soaking up pressure. So, second half, thoughts on the second half. In the 49th minute, we started the second half really well. Seemed to be in control of the game. We continued to dominate the game. And Gyökeres scores a tap-in within minutes of restarting. Probably one of the easiest goals he'll score in his Arsenal career. But you know what? It was great build-up play on the right-hand side. Ben White with the lovely assist. And you've got to be in the right place at the right time. And Gyökeres scored the goal and done the famous Mar celebration. I felt he needed that goal. Big for confidence. Okay, then, unfortunately, in the 57th minute, we let them back in, lapse of concentration. Garnacho scores. Our defence, I think our defence should have never let that happen, to be honest. I felt we could have defended better there. We made some changes around the 69th, 70th mark, and then Zubimendi pops up with a goal. It was a nice assist from Gyökeres as well. And I love the way Zubimendi, burst into the box, does a nice little feint shot and then takes it past the defender and smashes it in. That was a fantastic goal, and it was a big goal in the tie. And you know what? I thought after that goal, I felt a bit more comfortable. I thought like we could relax a little bit. But you never know. Football changes. And not long after that, in the 83rd minute, Chelsea scored from a set piece. We did say set pieces will play a part in this game. They also were very effective in their set pieces. And Garnacho with a great finish, I have to say, that brought it to 3-2. I'm going to be honest, I was really annoyed. I felt, we should have just killed the game off, killed the tie there and then, but we let them back in the game. But you know what? 3-2 in the first leg away at Stamford Bridge. I felt based on, the lineups, I thought we should have, they were there for the taking today. It could have been 4 or 5, but we didn't. So yeah, I feel defensive lapses kind of cost us a bit. We let Chelsea back in this tie now, in my opinion. We're going to take them back to the Emirates. Home, yeah, our home form's good, but they've got more of a chance than they did if they were 2 goals behind. So, it's only a goal difference of, 1 goal, 3-2, difference of 1 goal. It's not much in it, So, but I would say this, on the positive, it was nice to get an away win against one of the top 5 sides. Chelsea are a top side. Got to have respect for Chelsea. And, we got the win. We edged it. So we take that 3-2 lead now to the Emirates in the second leg, and just finish off the tie. Hopefully, we know it's not going to be an easy game. Let's, calm down, keep our feet on the ground. We've got 90 minutes of football to be played, and we've got to go there at the Emirates and smash it. Yeah? Analysing the players now. Okay, Kepa, I felt had an okay game. I felt he needed to be a bit more composed at times. I thought he was a bit rushing, and for me, corners, he didn't look comfortable all the time in corners today. I thought Raya would have. I feel more confident when Raya's in goal, but I know, Kepa's a good backup goalkeeper, but I feel more confident when Raya's in goal. Defensively, White, I thought had a good game offensively, attacking wise, for sure. Got the header and a nice assist as well for Gyökeres' goal. Thought Saliba had a good game, Gabriel also a good game. They're both solid, Timber at left back, he did a job, yeah, but I feel he's better, of course, at right back. At times he did get caught out. Esteval, we know his quality. So he did cause Timber a couple of problems today. But that's why we put him there. It's probably the best defensive from what we had to deal with the 1v1s of Esteval. So yeah, no, I thought, overall defence, I thought we did well. I do feel, I felt our defence had played better in other games, in my opinion. To let two, like, for me, cheap goals. You know, I'll call them cheap goals. You know, great finishes from Garnacho, but I think we should have never let him get the ball on those occasions. But, you know, it's football, these things happen. We just got to learn from that going into the second leg now. Zubimendi, I thought, was class today. You know, generally, I thought he controlled the game generally in midfield. I felt, you know, him and Rice together, you know, controlled the midfield. I mean, Zubimendi's finish was class. You know, it was one of his, you know, probably one of his best games. I feel Zubimendi. Rice was everywhere. He had generally a good game as well. I thought we won the midfield battle today. When we played them in the league at Stamford Bridge, I thought Saicedo and Enzo and James, they kind of won the midfield battle then. But in this game, I felt we won the midfield battle. Odegaard had a quieter game. You know, he wasn't able to get on the ball and, you know, do his nice passes and make things happen as much in this game. But, you know, he had an okay game. I've seen him play better. Subs Marino came on for Odegaard, and I felt he added like more control in the midfield, and, you know, he got on the ball, some nice passes, you know, involved in the build-up play to, I think, one of the goals as well. Like, he was good, you know. And then, of course, you know, Havertz came on for Rice later on. He had quite a game. You know, I feel Havertz is like, he's like a false 9, but he's also a 10, but then he could play the 8. He's versatile. It's good to have him back for sure. Attack, Saka had a great game, you know, won his duel versus Cucurella. I felt in the past, I thought Cucurella in the 1v1s has, you know, done well against Saka. I felt he struggled. I thought Saka had the better of him in this game. Gyökeres did well to get a goal and an assist. I thought he had probably one of his better games in an Arsenal shirt. You know, got the mask celebration out as well, which we love. You know, we haven't seen it as much. We was hoping to see it more, but he got it. He got his goal today. Hopefully it kicks on from now. He needed that goal. He needed that, you know, confidence. Sometimes all it takes is one goal, you know, even if it's a tap-in. You know, strikers, you've got to take them, you know, and hopefully he builds on now. You know, we've got to start him in the next game, you know, getting fans in to get behind him. You know, I know it's frustrating. We want the results now, you know, but we just got to keep supporting him, support the players. They need it. They need us. So, yeah, Trossard had a good game as well, I felt. You know, Subs Martinelli came on for Trossard, you know, added fresh energy, you know, he's always lively, you know, he's always a threat. Jesus came on for Gyökeres later on as well, and he did okay as well. It's good to have, like, those two coming off the bench, I feel. I feel Jesus and Martinelli are good impact players. Although I know Martinelli started the last game, scored a hat-trick, I do feel he's better coming off from the bench, you know, and having an impact, you know, frighten defenders with his pace. Man of the match today, you know what, I'm going to give it to Gyökeres. You know why? Got his goal, and he got a nice assist, yeah? Big up Gyökeres. He needed that, you know. So I'm really happy for him. People, fans, I know we get frustrated, we get impatient. Me as well, I'm human. But let's get behind him, man. He's going to come good. He's going to come good. Arteta, thoughts on Arteta. You know how much I love Arteta. I respect Arteta so much. Where he took us from to where we are now. We've got to give him more credit than he deserves more credit. Some fans get on his back, but nah, man. Get behind Arteta. He's done a lot. Think about where we were to where we are now. We're competing on all fronts. So, yeah, I thought he put a strong starting lineup. Happy with the subs in the second half as well. You know, I thought the Marino sub for Odegaard, spot on. And also, Trossard was on a yellow. Martinelli came on. You know, it was a smart move. You know, Martinelli added something with his pace and his energy. And, you know, it always makes subs around that sort of 65 to 70 minute mark, you know. And I felt, you know, he always adds, the subs that come on, they usually add more control in the game. And, you know, they generally have an impact. Sometimes they don't, you know, But today I felt, you know, I thought it was good. We needed them today, you know. So, yeah, I've got to give credit to Arteta, you know. Chelsea, thoughts on Chelsea? Just, you know, quick snapshot of Chelsea. You know, I know it's a new manager, and if they thought new manager bounce and all that, you know, they've got a new manager. He's inexperienced. You know, I like the fact that they're giving him an opportunity, which is good. I think we all need opportunities, but I think that's great. But I'm not sure how long he's going to last in the job, if I'm honest, because, you know, look at the past. All I can say is look at the past history of the length that the duration managers have stayed at Chelsea. But I do like that he's a young manager. I'm sure he's got great ideas, you know, and yeah, I think he's got a lot of attacking players, you know, that can hurt teams, you know. So they, you know, I do feel they're going to be a strong side, you know. They're still in this tie. Let's not forget that they're still in this tie. This tie is not over. We've got another, you know, big game. You know, they're gonna have some of their players back. You know, Reece James, Palmer, I'm sure will be back for that one. And Saicedo, probably one of the best midfielders in the league. You know, one of. So it's going to be still a tough game. So it's a long way to go. You know, I have respect for any top side. So, you know, I'm sure it's going to be a tough second leg. You know, we got to just make sure we turn up and do the business. Yeah. And yeah, next game we're back in the Premier League action on Saturday, 5:30 p.m. It's a kickoff away against Nottingham Forest, back to Premier League action. And you know what? We have to win. We can't afford to have any draws now. It's just win, win, win. With City on our shoulder, you know, we have to win. You know, I want this trophy badly. I want it badly. I don't know about you lot, but I'm fed up of coming second place now. We need to win it this year. And, you know, the only way to do it is win against what's in front of you, yeah? So, and of course, always appreciation to all you guys listening. You know I should have released this last night. To be honest, I was tired, you know, so I thought I'd do it. I'm a bit more fresher today. It's here. You know, I'd just like to say, you know, anyone that took the time to listen to this reflection, you know what? I appreciate you. Yeah, you mean a lot. Yeah, just please remember, though, to subscribe, follow on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, yeah? Yeah, and also give it a like, you know. It just takes 1 second. Just give it a like if you like it, that is. And yeah, feel free to comment. Yeah, and of course, you know, come on, you gunners. Peace.